Welcome back to 100 Lies the God Culture teaches about the Philippines. Today's lie concerns the mission of Legazpi in the Philippines. Timothy Jay Schwab says Legazpi was out to get revenge for the natives' killing of Magellan. As we shall see, this is another of Tim's many lies. As with every single lie the God Culture vomits, the truth can be found if one simply reads the documents Tim claims to have read.
We stopped at an island where Magellan's men were killed. Where's that? That is Mactan, not Cebu. Get that? In other words, Lapu-Lapu's island. That's where they are in this narrative. He then writes, "We landed our men and disposed the artillery of the ships. They were attacking Mactan in response to their killing Magellan before, of course, which were close to the houses of the town, so that the firing of the artillery from the said ships and the arquebuses on land drove the enemy away. But we were unable to capture any of them," imagine that, "because they had their fleet ready for the sea." Smart Filipinos, they were expecting this.
Oddly enough, this fake history that the Spanish wanted revenge for the death of Magellan did not make it into Tim's book The Search for Solomon's Treasure. You will not find it in any book anywhere because it did not happen. According to Tim, the purpose of Legazpi sailing to Cebu, and it is Cebu not Mactan as I proved in a previous video, was to get revenge for the killing of Magellan. The natives were even expecting such an attack. Of course, this is all false. Let's read what really happened. Arriving in Cebu, Legazpi sent several men ashore to reassure the natives that they came in peace and friendship.
They were to assure the people that I did not come to do them any harm, but on the contrary to show them every favor, and to cultivate their friendship. 3 times this announcement was made to them, with all the signs and kind words possible to win their friendship. But at length, seeing that all our good intentions were of no avail, and that all the natives had put on their wooden corselets and rope armor and had armed themselves with their lances, shields, small cutlasses, and arrows, and that many plumes and varicolored headdresses were waving, and that help of men had come in force from the outside, so that their number must be almost 2,000 warriors, and considering that now is the time for us to make a settlement and effect a colony, and that the present port and location were exactly suited to our needs, and that it was useless for us to wait any longer, and seeing that there was no hope for peace, and that they did not wish it, although we had offered it, the master of camp said to the natives through an interpreter, 'Since you do not desire our friendship, and will not receive us peacefully, but are anxious for war, wait until we have landed, and look to it that you act as men, and defend yourselves from us, and guard your houses.' The Indians answered boldly, 'Be it so, come on, we await you here.' And thereupon they broke out into loud cries, covering themselves with their shield and brandishing their lances. Then they returned to the place whence they had set out, hurling their lances by divisions of 3s at the boat, and returning again to their station, going and coming as in a game of Capheus. Our men got ready and left the ships in boats, and as the boats left the ships for the shore, in accordance with the order given them, some shots were fired from the ships upon the multitude of prows anchored near a promontory, as well as at the landsmen upon shore, and upon the town. But, although they had showed so great a desire for war, when they heard the artillery and saw its effects, they abandoned their village without waiting for battle, and fled through the large, beautiful, and fertile open fields that are to be seen in this region.
After the battle ended, the Santo Nino was found by a soldier rifling through houses. A mass was said, and then Legazpi once again assured the natives that they came in friendship in the name of the King of Castile, and he pardoned them for the death of Magellan.
After the mass and the sermon, the general went to treat with the king for friendship, telling him that we came thither for the King of Castile, whose land this was, who had sent other people here before, and that they had been killed, as, for instance, Magellanus, and when Magellanus was mentioned, the king was much disturbed, but that he pardoned everything, on condition that you be his friends.
That statement is an extract from documents not included in full in the Philippine Islands series, but is part of a synopsis of documents which can be found in Spanish. The original Spanish text can be found on page 424 of Colección de Documentos Inéditos de Ultramar. That means there is much more to this story than is to be found in this massive set of books known as the Philippine Islands, or on shoddy websites like ancientphilippines.blogspot.com. Don't forget Tim acknowledges that blog as a major source for his fake history.
For a while now, we have used a definition for the Hebrew for this word from Ancient Philippines blogspot. In the beginning, in fact, we tried to quote local sources. And you'll see in the description box, we mentioned those guys. We also mentioned Bob's blog as well. It's all there. It's been there for 3 years. We've always, given them some credit. And those are worth reading because really, that's where we started with the history portion. We started reading their stuff, and then we started branching out from there. Yes, we verified everything that we could. And if there was something that we couldn't verify, such as the gold found in 1st century Egypt as easily, we took it from numerous sources, so we felt pretty good with it and went with it. And turns out it's proving to be fine as a reference. So far, our sources, by the way, check out to be very good.
Actually, his sources check out to be not very good at all. Timothy J. Schwab knows nothing of the real history of the Spanish in the Philippines because he is such a poor researcher that not only has he not read the books he cites, but he has not even looked for the information that is more important, such as that contained in the Spanish archives.